There was this part called Tom the Priest, an older junkie who our character Bob runs into later on in the story in an old hotel when he's kicking his habit. And so, I don't know, Burroughs just seemed like a real logical choice because he's an older junkie, ex-junkie. He's one of my major influences in my work, actually. So, which was another reason I wanted to put him in this film, because it was, you know, being able to take somebody that was a big influence on my own work and put them into the work, which is an interesting thing.
I like script very much. It's not easy for me to see what a film is like when reading the script, but I found this one very easy to visualize. I saw Mount Dillon in Kansas, and he was certainly a bright spot. Terrific screen presence he has. Bob Hendricks is sort of an anachronism in the film. He's not supposed to be, you know, adding anything to the whole question of addiction, but rather, you know, like my own part. I mean, he's going back to the old days. The old days when they used to give people morphine in jail. The old days before the methadone programs. The old days when doctors were still writing prescriptions. All of that, a whole different constellation.
I anticipate there'll probably be lots of different controversial things written about the story, because after all, if the kind of stories that I've done in the past and the kind of stories that story that this is one of, from the point of view of sort of an anti-hero, you know, point of view of a drug addict in this case.
This is a hypodermic needle. I gotta get a lighter and another cooker.
I think it's an anti-drug film, yeah. I think it's not a pro-drug film. It's a story about a group of people that are addicted very heavily to drugs and something that happens to them.
It's a little one, yeah. You don't need more than a fat end of a matchstick. You're using powder to load it, right?
It allows the audience to see the attraction of drugs and to understand intimately, not from outside, what that lifestyle and that high, that surge, that charge means. But it also allows an audience to see the consequences firsthand and to feel the destruction and the loss that it brings about. And in this case, the story also provides a glimpse of one man's attempt to redeem himself.
Why don't you just take a nice long drive someplace, far away from here, to a nice little town with narcotics drawers, all loaded with goodies, just laying there waiting for you to take them. How does that sound, Bob?
Fuck you, Jim. I won the goddamn war, not you.
Shit. Give me your hand up, Bob.
Fuck you, Gentry. Who the fuck are you, you fuck? I wish it was you that get your balls blown off.
Gentry is his primary antagonist. basically the one that's making it most difficult for him to lead the kind of life that he's accustomed to leading, which, aside from being an active addict, he robs drugstores.
This film deals with the reality of a subculture of drug addicts, namely those who go to pharmacies instead of the street to get their drugs. And I don't even think mainstream America is even aware it's happening.
Rehearsing and action.
Oh, we are? Yeah, yeah. Let him go at the door. It's all you, and then let him go.
Are you following him for a bit and then sort of letting him go? Something like that. Do we need more time for them to pause and kind of? That was nice.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
When I was thinking of, you know, developing a history for him, I figured he was a guy that had been in and out of, you know, juvenile institutions, and through that experience, you know, acquired a certain skill as a criminal.
She had this idea that she was a diva, and that people in their life, in their world, always considered Diane to be a real, you know, great old lady. That she was real tough, and she was hard, but she was cool, you know.
I play Nadine, and it's about, you know, 4 drug addicts, and I'm the youngest, least experienced one, newest to the gang, and not really accepted yet.
Part of Bob's whole thing is that he's afraid. I think that's a lot to do with like the addict mentality, which is, you know, kind of afraid. You know, he's afraid of reality. You know, I think, you know, on the other hand, with Bob, it's not just a matter of him being addicted to drugs. He's addicted to burglary. He's addicted to, you know, the adrenaline rush of you know, robbing something, stealing.
And action.
Okay, Gus, take a
Hold
look.
on, James, though. She
Okay,
won't walk in
cut.
the frame as soon.
Take a look.
Good.
Yeah, maybe we could angle her walk instead of blocking.
Come on. I said walk, not crawl. What we should do is we should have, when the car, like, you know, should skid into the next frame, should cut, should stop.
Okay. Let me see one once just to see something. All right. We probably should move that car forward, and it might bring in a little car light for me here.
Okay.
So just one more time for me.
We ever see this?
No, you don't see it.
For Christ's sakes, Jan, watch language. Who the hell you think you are, Mom Barkley?
Well, just say, who the hell do you think you are, my goddamn father? You can cuss, so can I, goddamn it.
For Christ's sake, Janet, watch your language. Who the hell do you think you are, Mom Barkley, somebody?
Who the hell the fuck you think you are, my father? You can cuss, so can I, goddamn.
Where the fuck are they?
Let's run through it.
Yeah, where's
Kelly.
Where's Kelly?
Okay, guys.
Kelly.
There's a lot of humor to it. I mean, these characters were like, here they were like sort of almost like the honeymooners in one way, but yet they're all messed up. You know, they're all, you know, their lives are screwed up. They're on drugs. You know, they're you know, they're screwed up. But yet there's a side to them that's very almost like a nuclear family almost. You know.
I mean, they bitch and bicker, but they really, truly love each other. I mean, she really loves him very much, and they have their normal life.
It was like these characters had more flair. They had more get up and go. They were ambitious. They weren't the type to sit around, and that's why they're all in jail now.
This is the end of the second week, and we're falling behind.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, because I didn't realize, like, when I made my other films, I didn't realize that in this case, for instance, you want to make it look really nice. You know, the quality of the picture is something that the cameraman usually spends about 10 to 15 to 20 minutes on each shot. where I'm used to just sort of putting some lights up and just shooting. So it really throws, like, every shot becomes like this light, which I haven't protested, you know, because it does look great, so I don't fight it. So we're sort of I'm just sort of caught in the middle of this traveling circus sort of thing, and where it sort of goes at its own pace, and no one's really hurrying it. Some people are trying to hurry it, but then they also know that you can't hurry it too much. You got to sort of let it go at its own pace. And the first AD, David Householder, the guy over there in the white jacket, he pretty much runs the show. He tells me what to do, and I can sort of hurry things up. But I mean, I'm just here like everybody else, waiting, drinking coffee. So it's exactly the kind of thing I didn't want to happen when I started this film. I didn't want people hanging around, joking and drinking coffee and laughing, but now I do it.
I met Gus probably in September, and he was telling me about the kind of movies he'd made in the past and how we had something in common. I thought we both made documentaries, and we worked with small crews, and we'd pretty much been in situations where we got to do whatever we wanted to do. And I was not surprised to hear him say that he was really not sure what it was going to be like to be surrounded by 60 or 70 people all the time. He hadn't had a lot of experience working with professional actors. He's worked with a lot of non-professional actors. And I think one of the best things I've seen is great performances out of people that we really never knew. How were we to know how it was going to turn out? And over again, it's really been a pleasant surprise to see how well he's worked with the actors and how he's helped shape the story and managed to make a real complete film.
Gus was very open, very accepting of stuff, and I think maybe he has a little bit of a first-time director's fear of saying, I didn't like that approach, could we try it again? When he liked it, I knew it.
He doesn't really tell you all the time, you know, I want you to do this, I want you to do that. He just kind of lets you figure it out, and he just keeps letting you do it over and over again until you figure it out yourself.
Gus has got a low-key directing style that doesn't interfere with your with my approach to a role. He's open to suggestion and allows the characters and the relationships to evolve.
I tried talking to Cop Nice.
I tried talking to those cops things. Punch me in the stomach. You know what they did? They just punched me in the stomach. That's what they did.
Why did you talk nasty to them?
They usually punch me.
Okay.
Too, but this one expected.
That's clear, guys. Clear.
Nice.
Visita mi canal.
You have to be in different clothes?
Oh,
That's why he never does talk nasty.
I noticed Matt doing stuff that Gus was right on top of. You know, he saw it, he liked it, he made room for it, he focused on it.
He has like a kind, you know, real respect for what you're doing, and he'll tell you if it's not, you know, if it's not working, you know, if this isn't working. But he gives you enough freedom where you feel like, you know, what you're doing there with the other actors, you know, has no limitations. He knows how to make it come alive on his end, too. Like, there's a scene, he had the camera going around the house, like, so we go to the front door, and then we try to get in there. She won't let us in there, and we're running around the side of the house. And all of a sudden, it had a whole different life, because otherwise, from the way it was written in the script, it could have been just one long kind of, you know, babbling monologue, but now it had a life to it. Of course, Grace Briscoe did a really good job.
He's got really good taste. That's one thing about Matt Dillon. He's got like an intuitive sense of what's good and what's bad, which pretty much matches up with my own taste, which is a strange thing. I guess if I were a different filmmaker, it might be different, you know. So that's one thing about working with him that is interesting, because it's usually I agree with pretty much the things that he comes up with.
Okay.
Oh, you want to be in the film?
No, I don't.
This is Jane. She's my script girl. And she helps me with like continuity problems, you know, like when I forget like the camera angles, cheating the eye line, and I have to keep things, you know, like the right costume on the right characters at the right time. She tells me.
But let's tell them what your motto is for this film.
But my motto is that continuity is the enemy. And so
imagine
Jane,
how that makes me feel every
Jane feels
day.
Good about that.
I feel like I'm going to war.
It seemed to me as though when we were doing a lot of stuff, there would be a problem with matching, and, you know, just the technical aspect I thought was going to be very challenging for whoever had to cut it. So I didn't know, you know, how that would turn out. But I figured, you know, at that point you just have to, you know, trust your director and figure he's got a better eye on the bigger picture.
The things that Gus has affection for are sometimes surprising. And that will make a big difference in the film. I mean, I sort of come from an approach of design, and I think in a lot of ways Gus comes from an approach of collecting. And these are sort of two conflicting attitudes about how you create the image. And I guess one surprise is that seems to have worked. With him sort of picking pieces out of what I try and very carefully design and put together, we've come up with something that I think is very true to the atmosphere of the script.
It's really hard to control things so much that you end up with the exact thing you started out with, because then you'd miss all the accidents. If you really forced yourself into the thing that you thought you wanted in the beginning, I think it would be very stiff in the end. So you go with the flow and you make it the thing that it sort of wants to become on its own, and you help it in that direction.
He keeps pushing me to go in less orthodox directions, where a lot of times I've been trained to go in more orthodox directions, and I think that's great. You know, he wants the film to be darker. We shoot things unconventionally a lot, and I enjoy that a lot. It becomes a much more personal film that way, rather than just, you know, something that you've seen before a lot of times. And he likes to move the camera a lot. We're always trying to do dollies, and sometimes it takes a little bit longer to set up, but ultimately I think it'll be a lot more fluid film to watch.
Tomorrow night we'll be halfway through the project, and it's just going along like it has been. Things are, you know, we have like our gallery of people across the street you can see. Can you see them? And this is it's Friday night, so a lot of people are gathered around, and they also like to see the stunt work. This is a stunt deal. And I don't know, it's been a lot of fun. I'm having fun. Whenever I got really deep and things really started to go wrong, that's the times when I really get excited, and it's real fun for me. We're rigging the car to do an interior moving car shot.
Is it hard to do?
It's real hard to do, especially it's raining. It's been raining, and it sort of wrecks our continuity, actually, doesn't it? And
Sort of.
yeah, it's real hard.
People get nervous and upset?
Today, during the day, yes, everyone's very nervous and very upset, including me.
Because of the rain?
Because we're just behind. We've got like one shot to show for the day, which it lasts about 20 seconds, and it's not good. It's not enough of a page count, because we have to make 3 pages a day. I think we made an 8, right?
Well, we can count that other shot.
And this reflects badly on me as a director.
So nobody's going to be driving? I mean, is Diane going to be driving?
No, we're going to be towing it. So she's going to be sitting there, like with her back against the radio, except you'll be addressing her like forward like this.
Who's going to hand me the words? Oh no, I'm going to already have.
Matt, Gus, we're not doing this, Diane's they're going to do that piece on me, right? So just pretend like this has happened, or do we do this?
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, you should.
Give me that just from off camera.
Yeah, but I can change it.
But we have your on camera, you know, so it's...
That'll do it.
Okay.
Okay.
So Kelly, is that the Bobby Gentry look?
So it's Bobby. Billy Joe McAllister jumped off the Tallahatchie Bridge.
We're ready, we're gonna move it out.
I'm dead. I'm being made dead.
We're making Heather dead. This is Nadine's death scene in the woods where they bury her, say goodbye to her.
The first time we put the makeup on, I looked at myself. It was kind of disgusting. It was disgusting, and it makes you feel a little sick. And then when I had the contact lenses on, and the final ones we had on weren't as bad, but I tried on this pair with just white, and you're looking at yourself, and you're this disgusting looking thing, but then, of course, you get used to it, which I got used to it. And it wasn't that bad. In fact, being dead was one of the easier things, except you have to be very still, but...
Today, and one at 10 o'clock. So when the sun goes down, the producers work on that. What's going on? Dude, you really are prepared.
This is the scene where Bob has already buried Nadine, and he comes back and leaves his wife and his partner behind on his trip back to the city, or back home.
They want those shovels to look as if they've been used because you just buried a corpse, and we decided we're going to get rid of the shovel.
Yeah.
I think this stuff right in here is fine.
Just in case I run into a cop.
I would take something right here.
No, I wasn't burying any bodies. We got a big muddy shovel in the back of the truck.
I think that'll probably get it.
I got the cover of Women's Worms.
Shelley was managing editor for Bass and Gal. That's for the fish and worm.
Good boy.
No, Shelley, for lunch, did you like to go worm
Whatever, fall in love. It's the devil's own invention. They fell in love. Saw me with Jim, Miss Henry at the bell. That's the Captain Gills. And with me
I'm Nick Wexler, and I'm one of the producers of the film, Drugstore Cowboy. These are my new shoes. These are moccasins. I'd always heard that moccasins were worn by Indians to keep the rain out of their feet. The Indians were wrong.
No, we're waiting on the clouds or the sun, basically. It's a tough situation.
All right. Okay, wait.
Well, we shot half the scene in clouds.
No, wait. Just a minute.
And what do you call it? We shot half the scene in clouds, and now the sun came out, so it won't match. So we're having a little problem. Gotta wait for more clouds, and hopefully we can get a little cooperation from the weatherman up there. And we'll be able to keep going.
What do you do if the sun comes out really?
Give me 5%. Give me 5%.
We punt and go home, I think. We're in trouble. So we just hope for clouds. I think we're gonna get it.
Okay,
it's
Bob,
cloudy right now.
Perfect. I don't know.
Let's try one.
All right, guys, we're gonna try one, Robert. Perfect. Just have to stay where they are. Okay, stand by quiet, please. Here we go, right away.
Bag is reloaded, right, Billy?
Okay, Bob, you ready?
Yeah.
Here we go, quiet, and roll.
Stage, marker.
Action.
It's a very unique vision. It's a very unique sense of style in realizing that vision. In a way, reading the script and talking through it from early on, the attraction was of a type of movie we haven't seen a lot of recently. We've tended to see a lot of formula movies manufactured to satisfy an audience rather than a movie that captures a real story that is original and moving and satisfying.
This is the last day, and we're all going to finish up at about 6 in the morning. And it's sort of been everyone's real happy today, and they're saying goodbye, and they're maybe sad, maybe real happy. In my case, I think I'm real happy just because it's been really hard too. And I, for the first time today, had a few moments drinking coffee, and I thought, this is really sort of what life used to be like before this film started. Yeah, after all this time, living with this giant film crew and office, in record time, I think, one day, everything just disappears, and everyone's gone. Like the work actually does end. There's a day when you do the last shot, and then after the last shot, there's really no reason to stick around, so everyone just flies away, and the trucks all load up and they go away, which takes a day. But but one day is weird because you've been working for so long that everything, all the offices are packed up and they're bare, and the trucks are all gone, and all the actors and the personnel are literally just gone. And I'm left here with nothing except, well, I have an editing room and some film, you know. But all the people are just gone.
Very well. I have a message for young people. Say no to drug hysteria. Or any other kind of hysteria, for that matter.